Hello and welcome to a Marketing Mama podcast with your host, me, Annabella Sarah. This podcast, if you're new here, hi, welcome. It's all about answering the questions that I had and I Googled or searched on AI, but being able to give it on a personal level because, hey, AI can answer everything, but they can't give personal experience because they ain't a person. So welcome if this is your first one. And if you're returning, thank you so much. Last week on the podcast, I basically used it as a rehearsal for my speech at Womanifest. And I have been to Womanifest. I have done Womanifest for the first time. And I am here to give a debrief on the whole experience. Now, first of all, I'd like to say that I came into this really late. I have talked on the podcast as well previously that the fact that my life circumstances with having 5 children, 2 of those with severe disabilities and challenging needs has stopped me from going and doing things. And I kind of had, for a few years, kind of put that on hold. And I kind of felt like going to places like that and doing experiences like that wasn't a possibility for me anymore. I'd kind of given up on living my life and I was just in the trenches of motherhood and being a parent carer and all the things that brings. So I have watched all the years of people going to Womanifest go by and not going. And it always left a bit of a sting, just sadness that I felt like this was over and it was unreachable. So when I saw a few months ago, it's not been long, I think maybe April, maybe March, I can't remember exactly, but basically this year, the beginning of this year, the first part of this year, I saw that they were looking for speakers and I was like, wanting to get out more again, wanting to do more speaking. I love speaking on stage. I love going to real life events. And I was just trying to put myself out there more. And I got accepted. And I was like, let's do this. I had a few issues though. Obviously, that's not last minute, but it is last minute to me when I'm trying to arrange childcare for 5 children. And it happened to be on the weekend where my older 3 boys go to their dads anyway. So that was a big relief. That's a first tip. That's yes, I can give myself permission to do this because I know they are going to be safe and happy with their dad. Now, the other 2 are a different story. Mila is still sleeping in my bed, still feeding in the night. She's 3. I know, it's crazy. I've tried and I've just decided it's easier just to let her wean naturally. And she is not feeding in the day anymore, which is a really good thing. So we feel like we are getting there slowly. But we had just gone away as well in May. I knew we were planning to go away at the end of May. And we were going to be away for 3 nights for a wedding in Greece. Talked about that already as well. And it was then asking my mum to have her again, which felt like a lot. And also the other factor was it was my husband's birthday weekend. So was I going to abandon him with the kids? No, that's why mum needs to be involved. Bless Nanny. So my mum was around. I said to my husband, I won't do it if it's, if you don't want to do it. But do you fancy going up? I'll do my talk, spend the day there. You can chill. And then I'll come back to the hotel, have dinner, and then we'll spend the night and go home the next day. So I was just planning to go for the 1 day, which I did, just so that I could be there, experience it, do my talk. And I guess it's like dipping my toe as well. This is the thing with my ADHD or my brain, my neurodivergent brain, because I have autistic traits, but they haven't formally diagnosed me. Going to new places is really scary and I'm much better when it's a familiar place. But also because I've got ADHD, I leave things to the last minute. So I will just push it to the back of my mind and then I'll be like, I actually need to know where I'm going. I know it would make more sense. I say this to myself. I know it would make more sense if I would just sit on Google Maps and look it out. And sometimes I will do that if I'm doing events and stuff. I didn't do it this time because life has been so hectic. So I didn't really know where we were going. We were just putting in the sat nav. My husband was driving. But I am much better when I have been somewhere before and I know where I'm going and I'm more comfortable. So I knew that if I went for 1 day this year with my husband to accompany me, then next year, hopefully it won't be on his birthday weekend, I can go on my own or go with other people and I know where I'm going and know what I'm doing. And on the run up, I obviously am part of a speaker group and the community. And I was just seeing all these amazing, so many amazing talks, honestly. When I was online and they were talking about it, I could tell that it was going to be big. But when we eventually got there and my husband dropped me off, when you walk in, it is like, honestly, it like literally took my breath away, like how massive it is. It is like a humongous piece of land. And you've got this, you walk out like on top basically. And then below there's like a huge lake. And then like on one side of the lake, there's teepee, like tents and stuff. And then you go down the hill. And then there's the teepee that I spoke in, and then more tents and like this humongous Womanifest sign. Honestly, it is incredible what they have done and what they have created. Like, I didn't do any of the experiences this time. Kind of gutted I didn't book anything. But as I said, this is the first time I'm going. And with my ADHD, I'm kind of, I don't know, held back. Like, I wanted to go and experience it, like dip my toes in, get comfortable. And then next year, I'm going to go full. I'm going for the full weekend. I'll talk about that in a minute. But it was incredible walking in there. And I knew I was going to know people there, but I was really like a bit nervous, very nervous about hanging around on my own. RSD was kicking in, like nobody's going to want to talk to me, nobody's going to like me. And then I just went into the stage, had a little walk around, then I was like, no, I'm just going to walk into the stage where I am. I was early, but not too early. We'd hit a load of traffic and stuff. So I had about over an hour. And luckily, I walked in on someone I know doing a speech. So I sat down instantly and listened to her talk, which was brilliant. And then I just decided to hang around there. And luckily, then I saw one of my friends who I did my ADHD coaching course with, and who has coached me as well. So I got to sit with her. I was like, she was talking after me as well. So I was like, let's go get a drink. I know I'm not condoning the use of alcohol for confidence. Okay. I just felt like I need a little Prosecco just to chill my nerves. I know it's not bad. I'm not condoning this. This is not medical advice. This is not confident advice. But in that situation for me, and I was just like, I just need a little tipple, just a little one. The only bad thing about this event was I had to drink my Prosecco out of a plastic glass. But it's just a me thing. I get it. I get why. But yeah, I hate not drinking Prosecco out of a Prosecco glass. So next year, I could bring my own. It's a good shout. Plastic ones. Good shout. I'm going to do that. So we had a little drink together. We took some photos together. They have like so many amazing like backdrops to take photos. It's all pink and sparkly. It's just so very me. And I sat and listened then to another woman talk, amazing lady. And then one of my friends who was late, bless her, she literally just turned up 3 minutes before her slot. She came in, did her talk, sat there, wow, just admiring all these amazing ladies. And then I was next. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like I've got to follow all these amazing acts. Like I was like, what? How am I going to do this? All of these people are amazing. How am I going to follow all this? And I gave my slides, and I kind of just loitered by the front because I was already sat in the front anyway. I kind of wish I'd taken a step back and kind of hyped myself up a bit at the back and walked all the way down. But like, it's good to reflect and then know what to do next time. So I'll have to listen back to this podcast next year so that I remember what I wanted to do. I had my slides and I had 20 minutes, right? I had 22 slides and I was a bit like, is that a bit too many slides for 20-minute talk? The countdown wasn't working either. So I was like, oh. So I did ask the tech guy to give me a halfway, like 10 minutes from the back of the room, which he did. And that definitely helped me. But the slides worked. It actually worked. They were really good to prompt me. And because it's all stuff that I talk about all the time anyway, it felt easy. It flowed. I was really quite happy with it. There were definitely things I could have done better, definitely things I could have missed. There's definitely a few funny moments where stuff happened. One thing happened with the QR code. I couldn't go back, so the tech guy had to come up. So then my finishing slide kind of got a bit ruined, but it doesn't really matter. The be all and end all. But people took pictures of the QR code, their signal. There was an issue with the Wi-Fi booster. Bless them. It was just, a nightmare. They paid for an outside company. We'd all kind of chipped in and it didn't work. So I think I got it up and running for day 2, but that was a nightmare for them. But it doesn't really matter. Like it all went really well. I was actually really happy with it. I had it filmed, so hopefully I'll get that back and I can edit it into reels and snippets and stuff. And I had a fresh photographer taking my pictures and stuff. So yes, it was good. It went really well. And then afterwards, my friend went next, and that was brilliant as well. And there was loads of people, and there was more than there was in mine. And I was sat there like, damn it, like I wish that all these people had been there for my one. But it is what it is. And I realised like what was done differently, I think, that I'm going to take on for next year. And it might just be a coincidence that more people came in, but I think it's a good thing to take on board, because when we give the information about our talks to like go in the programs and stuff, all mine said was unmask your confidence. So I went very vague, and I feel like that was a mistake. You know, they always say like there's like got to niche down. I feel like that was definitely the place to be more specific. And because Claire, who came after me, she had a really long title, but was really specific about who it was for and what it was going to be about. And I definitely next year, 100% going to do it, because when you look at the program, it's just that's all you see is the name, the person, the title. There's no picture or anything. So if someone doesn't remember your name, they're not going to have like any memory of you and why they should go and watch you. So I'm definitely doing that for next year, being more specific, targeting the audience. And hey, if no one turns up then, I know that's not it. But after that, we got out of the TP and we kind of like explored, and it was just amazing. Like they had a stage, like people were doing Zumba, like there was comedy on, there was line dancing, there was a girl singing who was absolutely amazing, only 15 years old, and she sang Zombies. Is it by the Cranberries? And she was just so good. And it was just amazing. There was like a market store with all the markets. I bought some really cool new, I haven't got them on, but they are crystals that light up. I feel like I need a couple of strings of them because I feel like it would look really good, like draped down there or something. But yes, it was incredible. And I met loads of people, like had loads of chats, I had some pizza. And like I said, there was all these experiences, like people were going axe throwing, people were like going in the saunas, there was cold water baths, they were going swimming in the lake, there was massages, there was workshops, there was loads of more talks. There was so much to do. It wasn't overwhelming for me. You might think it might be overwhelming, but I think you just have to pick what you're going to do and stick to it. So that I just stuck into the stage that I was in, which means I missed out on loads of people, which is sad. But you can't do everything. Like that is just impossible if you're going to try. I can imagine if you're trying to go from one place to the other to the other to the other, that'd be really stressful and overwhelming, and you'd have to plan it to a T. But because I just stayed in the one stage, and then kind of like went and did my own little bits, I didn't feel overwhelmed, and I just had a really lovely time. And it was just really good to actually be out and do things and not just be online and see people in real life. And like, I am so rubbish, okay, at seeing people's little photos on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and stuff, and then seeing them in real life. So if I ever see you in real life and I don't know who you are, please just talk to me, because it's like, I think such an ADHD thing. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's actually its own thing. But like trying to put a little person online to a real life person, it's really difficult. So please do, if you ever see me in real life, please do say hello, because I really love chatting and meeting and connecting in real life, because then I could put a proper person to a name on the internet, which helps my brain massively. And then at about 6:00, my husband came and picked me up, and then we went back to our hotel, which I would not recommend. I was paid for a bit of luxury. It was my husband's birthday. I was making him come 3 hours up the country to assist me. And it was pretty average, I would say. Just little things that they could have fixed up and stuff. And I did go for a swim in the pool. I felt like the pool was almost like, it was like a leisure centre with a little bit of a glow up, but like the walls were peeling, the plants were dead. It was just little bits. The staff were great. They were all really great. But yeah, it was just little bits that could have just made a difference. I would not have paid. And it didn't even include breakfast. I thought it included breakfast, which is why I booked it really, compared to a cheaper place. Because I was going to book Premier Inn, but it was like £112 with breakfast. And then for an extra 60, we could stay somewhere which had a pool and golf. And they didn't even let my husband golf in the end. Like they said, you can't go around on your own, you have to go around with people. So that was a bit of a fail. Won't be saying that again. And I had one observation that I thought was really important to bring up and talk about, because I think we look at these people who talk on stages and we put them on pedestals, and not just at Womanifest, but everywhere, right? And just wanted to think about it in terms of that. But I had sat and watched all these women do incredible, and had said, oh my God, how can I follow on? They're so amazing, they're so natural, they're so calm. And every single one of those women came to me and was like, was it okay? Do you really think it was okay? Like, please tell me honestly. Like, I felt so flustered. I felt so rushed. Things went wrong. Like, oh, did it even come across right? Like, do you think people connected? Like, I had all of the women that I'd watched say the same thing to me, which just shows that we all struggle with FOPO, with fear of other people's opinions. Because who are we worried about if it was just down to ourselves, if we were just looking at ourselves through our own eyes rather than the eyes of other people's, we would have seen that in that moment we did the best job we could. We did the best job we could within that moment, with the capacity we have, with the circumstances we have, the best moment. But we're not nice. We're looking through the eyes of others and we're judging ourselves and thinking the worst of other people's opinions. Always the worst. Obviously, I reassured them and I bigged them up and I told them specific things about what I really took away and enjoyed and liked, because I think it's one thing saying, yes, it was great, it was brilliant, it really made an impact. But if you could pick things out that really stood out, then that's something that they can take back and use again in the future, and they know that that works. Obviously, I'm only one person. Other people might have different opinions about it, but I still think it's good to get specific feedback. So it was really interesting to hear all of that and kind of have that realization afterwards. And also, I had my own little moment of FOPO. Okay. It wasn't during it. I felt like, all right. I felt like it went okay. I was pretty happy with how it went. I mean, it's scary standing on stage in front of everyone. Like, it's the biggest fear. It's what people fear the most above death. People would rather die than actually speak on stage. That is the reality of that. But I also love it and enjoy it. And it wasn't until afterwards where I had my FOPO moment. And it's something that I can work through now, but I'm sure a lot of you will feel this. So my friends had taken photos of me while I was on stage. And so they were then sending me the photos. And the instant thing that I saw when I had my photos back was my stomach. Normally, when I'm in the dress, this one, it goes flat and straight over and drops. Now, because I have to wear another dress underneath because it is completely mesh, I have this really tight dress I wear underneath it. And because I had been sat down before I went up and not kind of like sorted myself out, like straightened myself up and stuff, sure, it had kind of risen a bit. So it had kind of like stuck in the place where my stomach hangs over, because I've had 5 babies, I've had a C-section, and I have the apron or whatever it's called, the mum ton. I have it, which a lot of people do, right? And my instant was like, I literally saw the picture. I was like, ugh, let me put my phone down. And that kind of disappointment of like, I don't look how I wanted to look, just from that little blip, it's not even like, I don't even have a massive belly, but it was just, when something like, it's like when you like have your head in the wrong way and your nose looks a little bit bigger than it should or something. It just bugged me in that moment. And it annoyed me a bit because obviously I was rushed to get there. I was literally doing my makeup in the car. I didn't have anywhere to go. Like I said, I wish we'd stayed to Friday night and I could have got ready in the morning on Saturday in a hotel and stuff and then gone to the event. But hey ho, that's not what happened. And I wish I'd had more time in front of a mirror to like sort myself out and just make myself look a bit, not more well presented for other people, but just so that I could just feel all right in how I look and how I wanted things to positioned. But it didn't. And I've had those photos back from friends. And then I was like, I'm having professional photos taken. And it's going to be like that in my professional photos too. So I was a little bit disappointed. But then I had a talk with myself and I was like, everyone has something, don't they? And I would much rather have these photos with a bit of a tummy than not have these photos. And I know I will look back on these photos and I will be really thankful I had these done to have had this experience. And I love the dress. And I'm here for body positivity and being confident in your shape, no matter what shape or size you are. Like I'm like 16, 18 on the bottom and varies on the top. My pear shape, I've had 5 kids, I've got stretch marks, I've got cellulite. That is who I am. And, I'm not going to just wear a dress that skims over just to cover my belly all the time. I want to wear patterns. I want to wear tight things. And if that means it's going to show I've got a belly, then it does. Hey ho, at the end of the day. I've said hey ho in this podcast way too many times. Please don't let that be a new thing that just like randomly pops out of my mouth. So I am giving myself some grace, giving myself pep talks and waiting to see the professional photos come. And I'm sure I will love them. But I feel like at least I'm prepared that it's not going to be perfect. And maybe that's a good thing to show that I'm human. But next year, I want to go back for the whole weekend. Honestly, it was incredible. And I am definitely going back. And I have this kind of vision that I really want to do. Like, I had my ideas, ADHD, buzzing, creativity, literally ever since I left. I want to take a group of women, but I don't just want to take them there for that weekend. I want to have a whole transformation from now, from October to next June, because it's in June next year, not on my husband's birthday, not on my son's birthday, not on my mum's birthday either. Thank God. I literally want to work with a group of women from October until June next year on all the layers of their confidence. So, understanding who they are, really getting to know what their struggles are, what their strengths are, and working with them in a way that actually works with their brain. And then how they look and they feel about themselves as well. FOPO, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, literally the whole shebang in what's that, 9 months, October to June. And then when we get to Womanifest, we all stay in a luxurious home, not villa as if we're in England, a luxurious home, and we have a photo shoot, body confident photo shoot. I just think that would be so much fun. We do it together, do it individually. Maybe we get one where there's a pool or a hot tub. See, it depends how much it is. And it's like a whole experience that we do together. So I can help hold their hands, bring them through the transformation. That is the vision and the dream that I would love to put together. Yeah, I literally just keep thinking about it on repeat in my mind. Dreamy, that's the dream, that's the dream. So yeah, that is something I'm going to work on over the summer. I probably will cap it to 6 people to really make it an intense experience and a real like sisterhood, like coming together and working through this, because on 9 months you're bound to have some highs and you're bound to have some lows in that time. And the whole point it will be that we pick each other up because we all know what it's like. So yeah, that is my vision of what I want to do for Womanifest. I have some other ideas as well. I would love to talk again if they're happy back. And yeah, it was just incredible. And if you haven't been, I definitely recommend going. It was 100% worth the 3-hour journey there, the 3-hour journey back, 100% worth leaving the kids. And I'm totally going for the whole weekend next year. So I'm pretty sure they've got early bird tickets out now. You can reserve for like £10 or something. So if you want to go grab that, if you feel like you would like to be part of these 6 ladies of transformation, I don't have a name for it at the minute, this 9 months experience, this journey we're going to go on together, then please do let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll be getting the ball rolling on that as soon as I can, with summer coming up, of course. So that is just a wrap up of Womanifest. And hopefully it's given you some good insights on it and on why you should be there next year. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.